Hello and welcome to the Bothering Strangers podcast. I'm Max Heering, and my guest today, we got a good one for you. He's not famous at all, but he is an actor. He is a businessman. He is a star. He's a man amongst tigers. That's how he describes himself, at least. And in my heart, he was once a former high school basketball legend. My guest today is my friend Gondoe Mulbah. Come on out, Gondoe. There he is. If you're listening to this on the podcast, he just basically turned around in his chair with the Liberian flag in hand, and now he's waving it. So,
Oh, hail Liberia.
I didn't think he'd be going into the Liberia material so soon, but
Well, I sure did.
you sure did. That's true.
Now let's qualify your statement there of me not famous. I mean, you know me. My mama knows me.
Well, you sound like Kevin Hart right now trying to justify something. But you were okay. Let's talk about the time when you had your most fame. It was after the Wendy's commercial you did a couple years ago with Lou Ferrigno.
That's right.
And for my generation who doesn't know who Lou Ferrigno is, he's ripped, and he was once the Hulk back in like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And you were on this commercial with Lou Ferrigno, and he got paid a lot more money than you.
A ton more.
But you were on camera with him. So tell me about that. What was that like?
Well, me and Lou, great friends. He probably still remembers nothing about me, actually.
Nothing about you. He probably.
What's crazy. So this is a true story. So I actually sent an email to his agent because I was on IMDb and all that. And I said, hey, I'd love to grab some coffee with Lou. And I sent our commercial. So
did the agent respond?
No, that was 4 years ago.
Oh, geez, it was 4 years ago. I thought there was going to be a happy ending to that.
Hey, it's not done, not over yet.
But you're right, it's not over. I recently, because I also do acting, as you know, Gondoe, but no one else knows. I just got my second IMDb credit.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got my second one.
What was it?
It was for this feature-length film that I'm in. That I thought it was in post-production, but apparently it is released now, and the writers are looking for a streaming service, and it's called Idle Hours. And my character's name was Derek.
Uh-huh.
And he's not a person. Oh, there's the phone. He's not a person I'd want to actually be around in my life. But,
Got it.
I was in it. I got my second credit, so I guess I'm a star now.
I'd consider you a star.
You consider me a star? Okay, I like
I'd consider you're on IMDb.
By the
way, they're calling you right now. So
AMD's calling me. Hey, you're a star. Come on out. I'm a star without an agent or a manager.
Hey, you're doing good on these podcasts, though.
Well, I've only released one episode so far.
One episode is a great episode.
I don't know where I'm going to release this episode, but as of today, as of the day that we're recording it, I've only released one episode. So
this is the start of Bothering Strangers when it's about to go viral. This is a start. We are speaking it in existence that Max. What's your stage name?
Max Heering. It's Max Heering. Yeah, I just my stage name is my real name.
Oh, so we can't tell them that your Hebrew name then?
I don't really use my Hebrew name for anything.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw it somewhere. I literally thought I just see you put Max. Maybe.
No, I don't use my Hebrew name. My parents call me sometimes.
Okay. All right. Just checking, man. Just checking.
Jokes.
All right, keep on. So yes, my commercial with Lou Ferrigno was great.
It was well, you have to tell the audience it was a Wendy's commercial, right?
It was a Wendy's commercial. So I did a Wendy's commercial with Lou Ferrigno. The specs on it, I remember they said they need someone between 25 and 35, all ethnicities, whatever that word is. And I said, sure, let me go ahead and audition for it. And I remember practicing. I actually practiced for the audition like a few hours beforehand, the
Oh wow,
lines.
cutting it close.
'Cause I just didn't think that I would get it for some
Oh,
reason. It's a true story. So I didn't think I would get it. And then yeah, then I was like, then they got a call back. I got called for the call back here, a day or two later. And I really, really did rehearse it. And then the director, and the producers all were there, and I did it. And that's how we got it. And in Japan right now, it has over 1 million views.
I guess they just love Lou Ferrigno in Japan,
Well,
or
maybe they love it,
or
but
they love Gondoe Mulbah in Japan, and they don't care about Lou Ferrigno at all.
no, yeah, no, they just love me.
Is he? He's not very tall. I feel like he's short, but
He's not, I thought he was going to be a lot bigger. Now, hear me out. He's huge.
He's huge.
But
He's
I think
ripped. That you can't deny
taller.
that.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a lot taller. They actually put a pillow underneath him. So he was sitting, in the commercial, so he was sitting on a pillow. So we ate about 10 or 11, cheeseburgers. And then at the end of the commercial, and it was great. And then I was just chatting. And I said, hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours. He said, oh, thank you, whatever. And and I was like, but then he was actually rushing to go back to LA.
Oh,
so he was actually he was controlling the whole he's like, I gotta go. He's like, okay. He took it by. He's like, I gotta go. I gotta get going because he had to be on set for a movie later on that afternoon.
I haven't seen him in it. What year was this? Actually,
I don't remember. I don't know. 2014.
the last thing I saw him on was The King of Queens, and that was in 2003. So,
dude, I love King of Queens. By the way, that's one of my favorites.
My dad's favorite show. So it's
great, man. Doug Heffernan.
Doug Heffernan, yeah. Whoever is watching this is like, what's The King of Queens?
Go on YouTube. Go watch King of Queens for a little bit.
It's a great show, honestly. I think it's super underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. Yeah. I wonder who's going to pick them up. Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah, it's not on. It's not on. I don't think it's on any of the major streaming services. And it was on for 7 seasons. It was a classic. I mean, Doug Heffernan. Yeah, if you don't watch King Queens, I guess you're going to be out of the loop on this one. But Kevin James, Leah Remini, everyone, just star-studded show.
Yep. Let's talk. I'm telling if Netflix picks it up, great.
You're getting a Netflix account if Netflix picks it up.
Well, I have a Netflix.
Oh, okay. You already have one. You're keeping your Netflix account.
I'm keeping my Netflix account solid active for just in case it's something like that.
Right.
And freaking Netflix is doing so well.
You know what I've been watching on Netflix recently?
What?
New Girl.
Oh, yeah. New Girl.
I do not regret that decision at all. I'm in the 5th season of rewatching it, and I'm loving it right now.
Yeah.
That's
good.
Oh my god. You know who the actor do you watch New Girl? Or have you watched it?
Yeah. I haven't seen the last 2 seasons of it.
That's okay. But the actor, the character Schmidt?
Yes.
And the actor's name is Max Greenfield.
Yes, and he's on the Neighborhood show.
Yeah, I don't like that one though. I don't like that show, honestly. It's a little too.
Oh, that's your opinion. No, joking. I've been watching an episode of it. I haven't watched it.
I've watched a couple episodes of it, and I just didn't. I like the cast a lot. I just don't like the show. Okay. But in my freshman year of college, everyone, a lot of these people in my dorm watched New Girl because it was still on then, and they were just like, "You're Schmidt. You are Schmidt." I was like, we have the same first name. I feel like it's because we're both Jewish though.
No, oh, you're Jewish?
Stop. No, I really just feel like it's because we're just both Jews, and then it's and then his character is he talks about being Jewish so much.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's true.
And I talk about it a good amount as well. In my life, in my real life. So he's like, oh, we're just gonna. So they're like, you're Schmidt, and then. But you know who I honestly feel like I really am as an actor. I feel like I'm more like John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who he is.
He's Aziz Ansari's friend. He's the crazy guy with the crazy hair.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen Parks and Rec in forever. And where has Aziz been? I haven't heard from him in a minute.
Where's Aziz been? He almost got Me Too'd. That almost happened. Didn't
Oh
happen in
shoot.
the end. It was like I don't know the details, but like Google it if you want to know. But he didn't get Me Too'd.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did a special. I watched part of it.
Mm-hmm.
This came out last year. Didn't like it. Like just got bored 20 minutes into it, and it was an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his older specials are on Netflix, and they're great. Like I love them.
Oh, absolutely, man.
From when he was like 25, and he was just like looking for material, and he would just like humiliate his cousin instead.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't feel like he's really been in much other than just that special he had last year. And he
Yeah.
had a show on Netflix, Master of None. He had that show for a while.
Didn't see that.
Ooh, highly recommend watching Master of None on Netflix.
I just finished Avatar, The Last Airbender, the series back of there, and then
The
I watched.
the Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
In my opinion, the greatest cartoon out there.
Static
In my-
Shock. Static Shock. If we're just talking about,
And I heard that they're making a movie for.
are they
Static
making a
Shock.
Static Shock? I can't believe that. I cannot believe.
heard
See,
that.
the thing is, I feel like very few people my age, like I'm 23, I feel like very few people my age know about Static Shock.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, I can see that. I mean, I remember. I mean, there's only a few, a few black characters, and Static Shock was one of them.
I don't know of there. I don't even think there was a black superhero that I can remember before Static Shock.
On cartoon, it was Green Lantern.
He was black.
Mm-hmm.
Because
see America. See people. This is why we need more black superheroes.
oh yeah.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Didn't you know Chadwick Boseman, by the way? Didn't you meet him?
Chadwick? No, not Chadwick.
Damn, your brother lied to me. Your brother,
Yeah.
like the first time I met your brother, he convinced me. I think he just thought you knew Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, really? No. I mean, I saw him, but never met him.
Where'd you see him?
I saw him. So it was over USC. So there, USC, they did.
Oh, when you were living in LA?
Mm-hmm. So they did. It was every over at the cinematography school. So they'll do every Friday. They'll do like an independent film or do some sort of film, and they'll have people in there. And so Chadwick Boseman, I remember he was there. I had no idea who he actually was.
Oh yeah.
I think he out, and then I remember there I saw him. I never met him. And then I met Mario Van Peebles.
Oh.
And so I remember meeting him, and then I went straight to him. I was like, "Hey, hello, sir. I just want give me one advice that you'd give to an up and coming actor." And he said, "Young brother, don't call yourself an actor." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "But that's kind of what I want to do." He's like, "You're a producer."
I want to be an actor.
I was like, "Dang, man!" I was like, "I want to be an actor." And he's like, "You're a producer." I was like, and he goes, "You're always working on something."
You're always working on something.
I was like, "Dang!" And then he left, and that was it.
he dropped the mic and walks away.
He left, but yeah, I was like, "Dang!" I wanted to know, man. You know what I mean? I was excited and everything. It was great, so it was good. You know what I mean? But
Did I ever tell you about the time I met Kevin Wilmot and I asked him for advice? So Kevin Wilmot. Well, I'll tell you, Kevin Beaumont, for those that don't know, he's a professor at my college, the University of Kansas, in the film department, but he's more famous for co-writing Black Klansman with Spike Lee and Chirac with Spike Lee, and this movie that came out recently, The 24th. And I kind of just ran into him in the film school at KU. This was like 6-7 months ago. And I said to him, so I'm not a film major, but I'm moving to LA soon, or after I graduate, or near LA soon, and my goal is to be an actor and a comedian, but I want to have the time to like do auditions and do stand up. So what job should I do? And I thought he was going to give me this like major, like this new piece of advice. I'd never thought of this. And it was going to be like this like major revelation in advice. And he's like, be a waiter. I was like, I'm like, everyone's telling me to be a waiter. And
he won an Oscar.
He won an Oscar. So his advice it's more sound coming from him.
Or he'll say that just to get into get you out of his way and keep going.
Very possible. Very possible. But oh man, I think that's him calling me now.
IMDb is calling you again. IMDb.
IMDb's calling, and they're like, you gotta answer the phone. You're a star. You have 2 credits now. You're a star.
You have 2 credits. That's awesome. Well, good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Are you a waiter now?
Am I a waiter?
Kind of.
Food delivery. Food delivery. But hopefully I have a job in a couple. Hopefully I have a new job in a couple days.
You will have a new job. This is great. I've never. So what's always the goals of podcasts? So typically you're interviewing people. So whenever this comes out, I mean, Max is interviewing. Like,
yeah, I don't know when I'm going to release this episode. I kind of want this to be more of a surprise episode.
A surprise episode. So listen. So Max is interviewing high level people on this podcast, whenever this comes into play, whatever time the name he has done, it's incredible. That's my promo. That's my promo for you.
On my podcast, for my podcast.
That's right.
Great, thanks.
When it gets big, you got to cut me some royalty.
I was waiting for that part of it.
Well, it's going to happen.
It's crazy. The last person
I made you.
You made it? Okay.
I made you who you are.
All right. Okay. The last person I interviewed was an NFL player, so it's kind of weird just going to, a former high school basketball star from an NFL player.
Let me tell you about my basketball moments. Despite the now, granted, I'm African, so technically, if you think about this, stereotype doesn't fit for me. But I am.
They play basketball in Africa.
Some. But the tall ones.
You're not one of the tall ones. That's true.
I am a solid 5'9".
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, solid. Last time I checked.
I hope you're still 5'9".
I am too. I'm getting older.
You're still in your 20s.
I'm still. I got one more year left.
Are you 29?
I'm 29.
Wow, good for you.
I know. I'll be. So I've never freaked out about an age, but then a few months ago, whenever I was about to be turning 29, I was like, I'm gonna be 29. I'm gonna have 1 year to be 30. Till I'm 30.
How old's your wife?
Say it again.
How old's your wife?
Ooh, yes, I do have a wife.
How old is she?
She's 28. She has years.
She's 28. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She's hot.
She's your wife.
Right. I did good.
Hot take. Husband thinks his wife's attractive.
Mm-hmm. Write that down. Write that down in your notes. So what questions? I haven't watched your interview yet with Braden Fajoko. Came out we're recording this on Friday, and I released the full episode yesterday. You should watch it. Everyone should watch it. It was genuinely a great interview. Like, he's super personable, really smart. I did pretty good myself too. Yeah, great. But what's my questions for you? Well, this is something I've been wondering. What have you been doing? You're working remotely, obviously, but you've been working remotely since the pandemic started, as you're in your office right now. What have you been doing to stay busy in the pandemic outside of work? What have you been doing to stay busy? Studying.
Reading,
studying. That's what I've been doing and stay busy.
Do you think you've actually been staying busy, or have you been bored at certain times?
Certain times I'm bored, but certain times, because during this time frame, it can give you the opportunity to because there's going to be two types of people who come out of this. Right. This whole thing is just the people who are moving their life forward, or people who are just getting stagnant and getting addicted to everything. So I figured, why not I get addicted to success? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you already were addicted to success. Now you're just more addicted.
I want to get more focused. You know what I mean? Like I realized, I was like, okay, you're left till I'm 30. Okay, I'm not where I thought I was going to be, but wanted to be, at 30 yet. So why not get my butt going? You know what I'm saying? Why not connect with people? Why not learn how to be better myself? Why not do all that? You know what I'm saying? Why not do what you're doing? You're hustling.
I'm trying.
You know,
I'm trying to hustle.
you're
Yeah.
going out there and knocking on doors, literally, and calling people and getting opportunities going, and look and see what's going on.
Yeah. Because I feel like what people don't know, and as I'm now a seasoned podcaster because I've released my first episode.
He is seasoned podcaster. You
Seasoned
hear that?
podcaster.
Turn this up. He's been doing this for how long?
A week.
A
A
week,
week.
and
A
he
week.
has seasoned, but he's been up for a freaking week.
Yeah.
Do it.
But what people don't realize is like if I'm trying like for anyone who's in my boat where it's like we're not famous, trying to get like actors and celebrities, actors and athletes mainly, more famous than yourself when I say that,
Oh,
to on the
well, I don't
show
think
like
that anymore.
what's
What
that?
were you? Go ahead. Keep talking. Keep talking.
But I feel like it's like I have to, you got to reach out to like a lot of people just to get your first guest, you know. It's not
How many people did you reach out to get braided?
yeah, 15, 20, like 15, 20. But my mistake was that this is a little industry secret if you're paying attention right now, is if you're trying to get an actor or a celebrity, the best way to do it is to go through their agent or management team. I reached out to him as well, and I've reached out to all these athletes, but the best way is to go through the people that represent them. They are the gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I reached out. So his marketing guy was kind of the one who helped me set it up.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Yeah. For me, I think when the pandemic started in March, and I was still in college, right? But I came home.
Yep.
I'm back in California
Yep.
living with my parents, and I wasn't delivering food at the time. I was just like, I eventually got into like learning Spanish and like working out a little bit. So I was still have like a lot of open hours of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was so bored that if my parents were like, "Hey, can you like go just like go to get groceries?" I'm like, "Yep, yeah, I'm gone. All right, what do you need? Like, can you be gone for 6 hours or something here?" Like I
Mm-hmm.
was so bored where like I was willing happily to do errands. First time in my life. First time in my life I think back to those days and I'm like, "Wow, I wanted to go to the grocery store."
Yep.
Oh god, I'm still pretty bored, truth be told. Like it's gotten
Well,
better because like the podcast, my YouTube videos, but I'm still pretty bored.
well, at least you're taking action.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know.
yeah. Right. I'm trying to be less bored, which I think is the
Yep.
important part because it's a process.
Productivity
It doesn't
output.
just happen.
Yeah, it's a process. Yeah, everything's. I mean, it takes time. You know, because and so the goal for your podcast here. I mean, what? I mean, I know we're speaking to millions of people. So see how that I'm speaking it for you. I'm giving you encouragement.
You're speaking it into existence.
I'm speaking it into.
That's really important.
Yeah, I'm a nice person.
You are a nice person. That's true. Can we get into some deeper territory here? Actually, because I haven't talked to you about
Get
this.
into some deeper territory. This is all
This is like a full
what we're doing. Listen, audience, what we're doing right now is called plowing. We're plowing to get to the deeper. So that's what. So stick around. Go ahead.
All right. I don't know where that came from. This is actually a serious question because I remember you posted on Facebook like a couple months ago that when you were 12, got lost at a birthday party. You were the only black kid at this birthday party, right? And you get lost from the group.
Yeah.
And you had like a water gun or something on you.
I had an airsoft gun. Yep.
Airsoft gun, and they like did they push you on the ground?
So this is what happened. So I was, I live in Kansas City, and I was in Overland Park, Kansas, all right, which is the suburbs in the nicer area of Kansas City,
And a whiter part of Kansas.
and a wider part of Kansas City. And so I was there, and I was privileged and blessed to go to a private Christian school when I was younger. And so then my buddy was having a birthday party and this airsoft guns, and they're all purple, and I'm saying all that, nothing doesn't look like a real gun. So then I got my one friend shot me, and I was chasing after him. Then he actually lived in that same neighborhood, so I got lost him, and I was running across trying to figure out where he was at. Then I was like, you know what, forget about it. And then I put the airsoft gun in my pocket. Then I started walking back to my buddy Christian's house. And
It's just you,
then
like you're by yourself.
I'm by myself. I was walking back to Christian's house, and then I see this cop car behind me as I'm walking, and then it's just following me. And then all of a sudden, then I move to the other side of the street, which is not like a big street or anything like that. It's like it's like heading into a neighborhood, so it's like another side of the street.
Yeah, small
I go
street.
there, a small street. So then I go, and then the cop car like goes and cuts me off. And then these two cops come out of their car, white guys, and then they're like, "Hey, buddy," and I'm like, "Hey," and then they're they say, "What you doing out here, bud?" And I was like, "I'm just going to my buddy's birthday party," and they're like, "Huh, okay." And then they're like, you don't stay around here, do you? Assuming that I don't live in the neighborhood
Because you're black? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Most
And
likely.
so then I didn't say that, but the facts be told, all right?
Yeah,
And
you're good.
then I'm like, no, yeah, I don't live around here, but I'm just going to their birthday party. And then they go, well, what's in your pocket? And I tell them, I was like, oh, it's an airsoft gun. And they're like, oh, let me see it. And I pull the airsoft gun out, which is purple, by the way. I pull out the purple airsoft gun. They pull out their guns and they say, freeze, hey, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground.
What?
I was 12.
Oh my God. How'd you pull it out? Like, did you pull
I
it
just
out?
literally was like, I pulled it out, like not pointing at them. I just pointed out like it's just see.
Wow.
It's just like, I get on the ground. And I'm like, drop the thing. I'm crying. I'm like, oh God. I was like, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. And then they put me on the ground. And
Did they like slam you or did they like lower, like drop you?
They like come with their gun, and I go on the and I'm on the just like on the ground, like afraid. And then they come and they start to search me. And they're like, you have any more weapons on you? I'm like, I don't have anything. They said I have any more weapons.
Like an airsoft gun's a weapon.
A purple airsoft gun with a big orange tip on it. Wow. And I told them it was an airsoft gun, by the way.
Oh my God.
Then they start searching me, and then my buddy Kevin comes and rides. I remember rides his bike back over here and sees it, and then he's like, "You have a gun too, an airsoft gun too?" And he's like, "Yeah, we all do." And then I'm just on the ground, just crying. I'm like they show, because they put their guns, and then then they all started doing this gun safety thing, like, guys, and he's like, look at my gun, look at your gun. It's very close to being the same. I'm like, dude, yours is like purple, or yours is like mine's purple, yours is like a real one. And then my mom came and picked me up, and they told my mom that they didn't pull their guns out. What a lie!
And this was in the 90s, right? So like, or they're like the early 2000s. So like, there was no footage.
Yeah.
There was like no body cam footage, no nothing.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man. I still remember. I will never forget that. And I didn't realize that it had to do with like a little racism on there. But now when you get older, you're like, yeah. And like you can go. I mean, my friends, they still remember that day. They still remember it because they're like, it was just so crazy and all that. And they look back at it. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's like, because whenever all this was going down, and he's like, man, that is so crazy. Like, now that I put two and two together. Like, they remember it. Right?
When did you realize that they probably treated you that way because you were black? Like, at what age were you like, oh, that was because I was black?
After high school.
Oh, it took you like many years later.
Yeah, because I didn't really realize it. I didn't, but then again, I wasn't really focusing on it. I just remember telling the story, but wasn't. But then after high school, I was like, that was wrong. That was racist. That was terrible, And then just other things. I mean, because that's one of the things with like, now, granted, I've never been arrested in my life. I've been pulled over pointlessly, but I remember, but because of the fear of what was something that would happen to me, I've always Like if I got a ticket, I paid it on time. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done everything that I could to save myself from being in a situation to where I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I having to suspend driving. I always remember, I remember anytime my record always, it's not what it's like clean. It's just, no, I've never been arrested. You know what I mean? If I've gotten tickets on but that's it. A speeding ticket here and there, like, driving without insurance.
I feel like you have to. I feel like mainly black men in America, just from what I see, like you have to just do so much more to kind of like try, like to just attempt to ensure your safety. Where like
Yeah.
I've been pulled over obviously for like no either like maybe like a license plate that's expired or something, or just like
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason,
That stuff. Yep. I've been
and
there.
nothing like climactic has ever happened. I can't think of any time where I was like, wow, that was crazy. It was all like super routine.
Yep. I've literally, it's, um, yeah, I just, I've had, because, saying like we're in Kansas City and I've been all over Kansas, and I mean, worse than Kansas in my personal opinion is Missouri, because you get some, you go in the deep Missouri area,
Yeah.
you get things. I've gotten comments whenever I was showing a business opportunity out there, and a guy was like, what are you doing? And I was like, in the middle of a meeting. He's like, I'm showing a business opportunity, and the guy's like, well, you can't rob banks around here. We don't have money. I was
Were
like,
you like
okay.
in like a Starbucks too at that time, or like were you like in like just like
Yeah, this one was in like a McDonald's. It wasn't a
oh
McDonald's.
gee, wow, that's I've heard Missouri's like a lot worse. I've heard Missouri's a lot worse with racism than Kansas.
It's interesting. Just now, here, it's like it's not everybody. That's the thing. It's like
No,
it's
of
not
course
everybody.
not.
You know what I mean? Like I've still today, some of my best friends are white. You know what I'm saying? But they're good. They're good people. The ones
Yeah,
that I know.
yeah, right.
Just that there's bad apples out there, but everything comes down to value. And how much do you value? It's just about value. Are you valuing people? Are you valuing yourself? But
I feel like what I've been thinking about lately because of like because like ever since the protest started with George Floyd, what I've kind of been thinking about is that you see like two sides, like the media portrays kind of two sides, and one's like the Black Lives Matter side, and the
mm-hmm.
other is like I'll just call it the All Lives Matter side, just like the one that tries to discredit the Black Lives Matter side. And I feel like if you're, let's just say, like a white person, and you're hearing all these, like a very large segment of the black population complain about something that you don't experience, that doesn't mean that like you should discredit it. It just means that you should have like enough compassion to like set to just and enough hindsight to and just enough like compassion, I guess, to say like just
Yep.
because I don't experience it doesn't mean that no one else experiences it.
Yep. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's funny because it's um, like I've had so many different conversations in the past months about this. I have some white men who I grew up with. They even shot me messages saying, "Hey, can I take you out to lunch? Can you tell me what it's like to be black in America?" I never really thought about it. I've had so many different conversations, which is great because that's what it does. I was talking to a dear friend of mine. I call him a mentor, Sharif Atkins, who's an actor. He said it in a good way. He's like, man, people are maybe getting a little sick of tired of hearing about this, but he's like, I wanted to go on for like 60, 90 days, because he talks about how, in 30 days or 60 days, whatever it is, 30 days to break a habit. So why not keep having this until it breaks that habit? And so having people talk about this type of stuff, these conversations, they open up.
Yeah, and in the 60s, like when the civil rights movement was in full swing, from what I've read, like those protests were going on for a very long time. Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like a week of protests. It was like months at a time
Oh,
of protests over something, and that's how change happened.
mm-hmm. It's the start, it's the start, and it's just what it is. But
What about as an actor? Have you experienced like typecasting as a black actor?
yeah, but I mean, yes, I have. And here in KC though, it's helped me. So I feel it's meaning this. So meaning like I'll get things, different auditions that they'll say, hey, we need an African American male between this and this, So it's kind of blatant, it's on there. But here's what's cool is that they're including, you know what I'm saying? So they're including and I've not probably experienced it as much as others have, especially out in LA and New York and all those places. But I know, I'm in a smaller market right now, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's out there. I know that for sure. But there are people succeeding too, man.
Yeah, well, you still have to be accountable for yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just have to be aware of all the factors.
Mm-hmm. Like that so here's the deal. Know that I know it's out there and know it's going to change, but despite that, you got to win. Like you still got to win. During all this time frame, this has been one of the times where I felt more connected to with African Americans, because I'm first generation Liberian, but then everybody around, when I went to school in Olathe East, they all knew me at like Gondoe. I was African. I wasn't African American. I was just African.
Wait, so did that make it harder for you to like connect with like the African American kids that you went to high school with?
Yeah, a little bit, because it was like number one, I didn't play football. I remember at lunch or whatever, like I played soccer, and I was the only black guy on the soccer team.
You were the only one?
I was the only one, absolutely.
Okay.
And so I played soccer. So I remember at lunch, I look to my left. I got, the soccer guys that I play soccer with, all white guys. And I look at the right where I got the football team. And they're, primarily all of them were black. And I was, I'm looking, I was like, okay, where do I sit? You know what I'm saying? Then I'll hear my buddy Kenny go, hey, what's up, Gonda? I'm like, oh, I look at my teammates on the soccer team. I'm like, well, not today, boys. You
sat with the football team?
Oh, I sat with the black people. That's right. I'll be looking over there and be like, hey, all right, Kyle, we'll talk. We'll see you after school.
I'll see you next time, John.
I'll see. I'll try sitting with you next week. Okay, I gotta hit my rotations here.
What do you think would have happened if you sat with the soccer team?
Oh, I did every once in a while. Like because if we had a game, that day, I'd go sit because we had our jerseys on, and so I'd go sit with them and we'd talk and everything, build the chemistry, and all that. But yeah, it'll still, it's funny. It happens though. Watch it. So it happens though unintentionally too. So I did a commercial. With a company out there called VeriSign, VML, which is like VM.
Didn't you work for that company?
No. That's Veriship I used to.
Oh, gotcha.
But VeriSign. So I did a commercial for VeriSign. They're out of Richmond, Virginia. I was actually looking at the call sheet the other day. And so there's a guy on there by the name of Sean Campbell. I got to find him. Sean Campbell. If you hear the Sean Campbell with the 3 million followers that we have over here, I appreciate you, brother. Anyways, and so then 5 million followers. Sorry. So there's about.
We're just getting more about a minute.
There's about 11 million followers listening to this right now, Max. This is crazy.
We're competing with Joe Rogan's podcast.
There's about 50 million people listening to this podcast right now. I'm speaking that. Okay. So then I remember. So then I get because he's in Atlanta. So so how it works, I'm saying, the different ad agencies, VMLs, they're based out of Kansas City, but they have locations all over the world, literally.
Right.
Huge company. So then but he was doing this out of Atlanta. They come to, I audition and everything. I got it. And then they're doing the thing here in Kansas City. I go and I literally just like we were talking, I was looking, it was at the fitting. And so then I, get myself fixed, and then I was just talking, then literally like Sean, we're talking, Sean was executive producer for that commercial. And so then we're just chatting, and then we just started talking and connecting. We naturally gravitated to each other because we're only 2 black people there. I can see you marrying a black woman for some reason, Max. I can see that coming in.
I've heard it before. I think my goal. Okay, I don't know. I guess I'm just putting this out to the universe here. I didn't think I'd do this on my podcast. IMDb, stop calling.
You can call me. I'll answer.
You can call Gonda. I'm gonna marry a Jewish woman. Because
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I want to marry. So most
Okay.
likely, just because of the Jewish thing, she will most
Mhm.
likely be white. Just
Or you can
and
get,
that's simply just a numbers. That's just a numbers game.
yeah, it's true. It's true numbers game.
Were you trying to play soccer in college?
No, I don't think I was. Um, yeah, just because I was like, I just don't want to do a school thing. In soccer, I mean, you don't have to go to college. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Were you trying to play soccer afterwards then?
Afterwards, for like a month.
You just wanted like a little taste of it, and then you were done.
And I realized, I was like, dang, I forgot, man. That's after a while. Sometimes it's a beautiful game, but it takes some running.
It takes. I heard that
Like
like
you guys, we played it together. Didn't we get you on the pitch?
you got me on the indoor soccer fields, and I sucked. How do you think your life's changed since you've been married? Has it changed much?
Drastically.
Whoa. Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I will. Thanks for asking. Listen, it's changed because it's not just me. You know, I've been going, and then I realized that then Malika would be like, "Hello." I'm like, "Oh, I have to check with you." You know what I mean? Or like if I'm hungry, I'll just go get myself some food and then come home and I'm eating Chick-fil-A. And
By
then
yourself,
obviously,
but you only got for
then
yourself.
she'll be like, "Did you get me any?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot that I have to include her." You know what I'm saying? I have to include her in the decisions
Does
that I make. And
does
so
Malika do that thing? Does she do that thing that I hear a lot of women do, like on social media? You always see these videos where it's like a guy's eating like fries, and the girl's like, "Can I get a fry?" And he's like, "You didn't want a fry. I asked you what you wanted, and you wanted nothing."
of course she does.
There's my, of
Uh,
course she does.
Literally, it's so factual. It's hilarious how it's just like
Every
she's
time.
she's such a little. I'm like, oh, every time she's eating a little bit, I'm like, and the Chick-fil-A fries are, I mean, these things are good. And so she's doing, yes. The answer is yes, yes, yes.
Do you think marriage has made you a better man?
It's making me strive to be one. That's for
Ooh,
sure.
good answer. I like that answer.
It's making me strive to definitely be one because I want to do it right. And what is right? I don't know. I've been asking people for like, hey, what's your advice? I've been married for 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years. I've been asking all these guys. I've been married for a long, long time. And I asked my pastor, I was like, hey, so what's your advice? Like, this is after, we already got married. And he's like, I got one advice. And he says, this is to you, the guy. He says, give in early.
Ooh, that's not. I didn't expect that.
And he said, give in early. And I was like, okay, because he's like some things that you just arguing with her about, just give in.
Who's your basketball team? Who's your NBA team?
I don't even have one. Where I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like I don't really watch NBA basketball. And said playoffs. So I
Well,
don't really
that's
have.
right now. So
I don't know. Whatever team out of the 2.8 billion people who are listening to this,
it's getting so much bigger every time.
whoever whatever NBA team wants me to say I'll be that fan.
Such a shameless plug. Oh my god.
So Max, you've been asking me questions.
Yeah.
Time for me to ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you do what you do?
Oi, honestly, I feel like with the acting and stand up, which is like when I look at my life now, and like I do writing too, and I'm like I want to be like a full-time actor, a full-time comedian, mainly a full-time like writer as well. I feel like it's just because I never I wasn't I never there was nothing I was never interested in that all that much. But when I found like stand up and acting, I was like, oh, this is it. You kind of sometimes you just find your thing and you're like, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I look at people who spend like 60, 70 hours a week in the corporate world, and sometimes they like it, but like for me, like I couldn't see myself doing that because like I wouldn't have enough interest to spend that many hours a week in it. But you know, if it was in stand-up and acting, I could absolutely see myself putting 60, 70 hours a week because I like what I'm doing. I'm interested. I feel like it's a good thing. I feel like making people laugh is just important. But what about you? You act. Why are you an actor?
Because it's fun.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Because it's fun. You know what I mean? Because I like doing it. I like the how long it takes to put it together, and then you see the end results.
Takes
And
a lot of time to put together, not that
so
much.
just a freaking commercial. I mean, that's only 30 seconds. It took us, 3 days. You
To
know?
shoot it.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of moving parts, and because it's fun. I never did it in high school. I was just I was just a jokester in high school. You know what I mean? And so, but then I was like, I think I was watching That So Raven, and I was like,
Great
you know
show.
what? I think I want to do that. I want to get on TV and do stuff like that. Not to really become famous or anything like that, but it's because I just want to do it. That's what, and I don't mind doing commercials aren't bad in itself too because it's a lot of expressions and you can kind of you know we do different ways and so it's fun.
This has been Bothering Strangers. Big thank you to my guest today, actor extraordinaire, former high school basketball star, and most importantly, my friend,
Yes.
Gondoe Mulbah. You can
Uh,
either watch this on YouTube or listen to this on Spotify. Anything else, Gondo?
um, no, Max is awesome. I'm proud of Max for doing all this and having this out here. Max is going to do some big things out there in the world and change lives. So I thank you for bothering me.
Thank you for watching.